Okay, we are in our Deuteronomy chapters 4 and 5, and it is Moses giving his last instructions as they get ready to go into the promised land. And so I just want you to um, I want you to kind of get a picture in your head of what's taken place, and just kind of imagine here's Moses. He's given these last instructions. He's giving these reminders to the people of what God has done in the last 40 years to get them to this point. And so he's kind of pumping them up, but giving them some strong encouragement in what to do. And so kind of have that picture in your head as we get into the text. When we turned and went up the road toward Bashan, Og, king of Bashan, and all his army came out to fight us at Edrei. The Lord said to me, "Don't be afraid of Og, because I will hand him his whole army and his land over to you. Do to him what you did to Sihon, king of the Amorites, who ruled in Heshbon." So the Lord of our God gave us Og, king of Bashan, and all his army. We defeated them and left no one alive. Then we captured all of Og's cities, all 60 of them, and took the whole area of Argob, Og's kingdom in Bashan. All these were strong cities with high walls and gates with bars, and there were also many small towns with no walls. We completely destroyed them, just like the cities of Sihon, king of Heshbon. We killed all the men, women, and children, but we kept all the cattle and valuable things from the cities for ourselves. So at that time, we took the land east of the Jordan River from the Arnon ravine to Mount Hermon, from these two Amorite kings. Hermon is called Sirion by the Sidonian people, but the Amorites call it Senir. We captured all the cities on the high plain and all of Gilead, and we took all of Bashan as far as Selka and Edrei, towns in Og's kingdom of Bashan. Only Og, king of Bashan, was left of the few Raphites. His bed was made of iron, and it was more than 13 feet long and 6 feet wide. It is still in the Ammonite city of Rabbah. At that time, we took this land to be our own. I gave the people of Reuben and Gad the land from Aroer by the Arnon ravine, as well as half of the mountain country of Gilead and the cities in it. To the people of East Manasseh I gave the rest of Gilead and all of Bashan, the kingdom of Og. The area of Argob in Bashan was called the land of the Raphites. Jair, a descendant of Manasseh, took the whole area of Argob, all the way to the border of the Geshurites and the Maccathites. So that land was named for Jair. And even today, Bashan is called the towns of Jair. I gave Gilead to Machir. I gave the Reubenites and the Gadites the land that begins at Gilead and goes from the Arnon ravine. The middle of the Arnon is the border to the Jabbok River, which is the Ammonite border. The border on the west was the Jordan River in the Jordan Valley, and it goes from Lake Galilee to the Dead Sea west of Mount Pisgah. At that time I gave you this command: the Lord your God has given you this land as your own. Now your fighting men must take their weapons, and you must lead the other Israelites across the river. Your wives, your young children, and cattle may stay here. I know you have many cattle, and they may stay here in the cities I have given you, until the Lord also gives your Israelite relatives a place to rest. They will receive the land the Lord your God has given them on the other side of the Jordan River. After that, you may each return to the land I have given you. Then I gave this command to Joshua: you have seen for yourself all that the Lord your God has done to these two kings. The Lord will do the same thing to all the kingdoms where you are going. Don't be afraid of them, because the Lord your God will fight for you. Then I begged the Lord, Lord God, You have begun to show me, your servant, how great you are. You have great strength, and no other God in heaven or on earth can do the powerful things you do. There is no other God like you. Please let me cross the Jordan River so that I may see the good land by the Jordan. I want to see the beautiful mountains in Lebanon. But the Lord was angry with me because of you, and he would not listen to me. The Lord said to me, that's enough. Don't talk to me anymore about it. Climb to the top of Mount Pisgah and look west, north, south, and east. You can look at the land, but you will not cross the Jordan River. Appoint Joshua and help him to be brave and strong. He will lead the people across the river and give them a land that they are to inherit. But you can only look at it. So we stayed in the valley opposite Beth Peor. Now Israel, now Israel, listen to the laws and commands I teach you. Obey them, that you will live, so that you will live, and so that you will go over and take the land the Lord, the God of your ancestors, is giving you. Don't add to these commands and don't leave anything out, but obey the commands the Lord your God I give you. You have seen for yourselves what the Lord did at Baal Peor, how the Lord your God destroyed everyone among you who followed Baal in Peor. But all of you who've continued following the Lord your God are still alive today. Look, I have taught you the laws and the rules and the Lord my God commanded me. Now you can obey the laws in the land you are entering, in the land you will take. Obey these laws carefully in order to show the other nations that you have wisdom and understanding. When you hear about these laws, they will say, this great nation of Israel is wise and understanding. No other nation is as great as we are. Their gods do not come near them, but the Lord our God comes near when we pray to him. And no other nation has such good teachings and commands as those I am giving you today. But be careful, watch out, and don't forget the things you have seen. Don't forget them as long as you live, but teach them to your children and grandchildren. Remember the day you stood before the Lord your God at Mount Sinai. He said to me, bring the people together so I can tell them what I have to say to you, have to say. Then they will respect me as long as they live in the land, and they will teach these things to their children. When you came and stood at the bottom of the mountain, it blazed with fire that reached to the sky, and black clouds made it very dark. The Lord spoke to you from the fire. You heard the sound of the words, but you did not see him. There was only a voice. The Lord told you about his agreement, the 10 Commandments. He told you to obey them, and he wrote them on 2 stone tablets. Then the Lord commanded me to teach you the laws and rules that you must obey in the land you will take when you cross the Jordan River. Since the Lord spoke to you from the fire at Mount Sinai, but you did not see him, watch yourselves carefully. Do not sin by making idols of any kind, and don't make statues of men or women, of animals on earth or birds that fly in the air, of anything that crawls on the ground or of the fish in the water below. When you look up at the sky, you see the sun, the moon, and the stars, and everything in the sky. But don't bow down and worship them, because the Lord your God has made these things for all people everywhere. But the Lord brought you out of Egypt, which tested you like a furnace of melting iron, and he made you for his very own people, you as you are now. The Lord was angry with me because of you, and he swore that I would not cross the Jordan River to go into the good land the Lord your God is giving you as your own. I will die here in this land and not cross the Jordan, but you will soon go across and take the good land. Be careful. Don't forget the agreement of the Lord your God that he made with you, and don't make any idols for yourselves, as the Lord your God has commanded you not to do. The Lord your God is a jealous God, like a fire that burns things up. Even after you have lived in the land a long time and have had children and grandchildren, don't do evil things. Don't make any kind of idol, and don't do what the Lord your God says is evil, because that will make him angry. If you do, I will ask heaven and earth to speak against you this day, that you will quickly be removed from this land that you are crossing the Jordan River to take. You will not live there long after that, but you will be completely destroyed. The Lord will scatter you among the other nations. Only a few of you will be left alive, and those few will be in other nations where the Lord will send you. There you will worship gods made by people, gods made of wood and stone that cannot hear and that cannot see and eat or smell. But even there, you can look for the Lord your God, and you will find him if you look for him with your whole being. It will be hard when all of these things happen to you. But after that, you will come back to the Lord your God and obey him, because the Lord your God is a merciful God. He will not destroy you. He will not leave you or destroy you. He will not forget the agreement with your ancestors, which he swore to them. Nothing like this has ever happened before. Look at the past, long before you were even born. Go all the way back to when God made humans on earth and look from one end of heaven to the other. Nothing like this has ever been heard of. No other people have ever heard God speak from a fire and have still lived, but you have. No other God has ever taken for himself one nation out of another, but the Lord your God did this for you in Egypt, right before your own eyes. He did it with tests, signs, miracles, war, and great sights by his great power and strength. He showed you things so you would know that the Lord is God, and there is no other God besides him. He spoke to you from heaven to teach you. He showed you his great fire on earth, and you heard him speak from the fire. Because the Lord loved your ancestors, he chose you. You're their descendants, and he brought you out of Egypt himself by his great strength. He forced nations out of their land ahead of you, nations that were bigger and stronger than you were. The Lord did this so he could bring you into their land and give it to you as your own. And this land is yours today. Now, know and believe today that the Lord is God. He is God in heaven above and on earth below. There is no other God. Obey his laws and commands that I am giving you today so that things will go well for you and your children. Then you will live a long time in the land that the Lord your God is giving to you forever. Moses chose 3 cities east of the Jordan River where a person who accidentally killed someone could go. If the person was not killed because of hatred, the murderer's life could be saved by running to one of these cities. These were the cities. Bezir in the desert high plain was for the Reubenites. Ramoth in Gilead was for the Gadites. And Golan in Bashan was for the Manassites. These are the teachings Moses gave to the people of Israel. They are the rules, commands, and laws he gave them when they came out of Egypt. They were in the valley near Beth Peor, east of the Jordan River, in the land of Sihon. Sihon, king of the Amorites, ruled in Heshbon and was defeated by Moses and the Israelites as they came out of Egypt. The Israelites took this land, in the land of Og, king of Bashan, the 2 Amorite kings east of the Jordan River. This land went from Aroer on the edge of the Arnon ravine to Mount Hermon. It included all the Jordan River all the Jordan Valley east of the Jordan River, and it went as far as the Dead Sea below Mount Pisgah. And so then we see Moses doing this retelling, but I've noticed several times he blames him not being able to cross into the promised land on the Israelite people. And remember, the Israelite people complained, were stubborn, they were wanting all kinds of stuff, wished they could go back to be slaves. It was just chaos a lot of the time, and it just wore Moses out. So the encouragement is to stay strong and to stay focused on what God is doing, and let him set the path for you, and to trust God with all that you have. I hope you have a great day.